I'm sorry, I need the assistance of. Okay, thank you. Good evening. I'm very honored to be here in the front to be able to share to you our experience in the Philippines. Actually, my discussion, I would like to expand more on the discussion on how the problem on managing ecologically our solid and hazardous waste. Major cities, major cities and urban settlements are the biggest generators of solid and hazardous waste, which contribute greatly to the environmental degradation, social injustice, and global warming. The prevalent practice of dumping and incinerating garbage produces a huge amount of greenhouse gases and also, and toxic compounds that contaminates our environment and public health. Dump sites, as we all know, produces 34% of all human-related methane emissions in the whole world. So the pictures that you see here are also the conditions of many waste disposal facilities in most areas around the world. The collect and dump waste management system in most countries breeds corruption. It was being controlled by a few public officials and private citizens. The flow of money for holding of trash, for disposal and operation of waste disposal facilities. For example, in Quezon City, in one of my province, this is one of the highly populated cities in Manila, which has a population of 2.68 million. The local government spends 2.63 million US dollars annually for managing its garbage. And this amount is 4 times the budget being allotted by the government for its family planning program. Also in one town in my province, in Bohol, the municipality is constructing a sanitary landfill which has a cost that equals the whole annual budget of the said town. So my friends, these are clear examples on how public funds are being used inappropriately and worse, are being used to pollute our planet. For most archipelagic countries like the Philippines, waste disposal facilities are located in environmentally critical areas such as watersheds, ground reserves, and foreshore lands. So this one is located inside the protected area in Cebu Island of the Philippines. Also, the option of incinerating the waste is also dangerous. Burning of garbage through incineration releases huge amount and alarming levels of greenhouse gases and persistent organic pollutants such as dioxins and furans. And actually, to greenwash these dirty technologies, corporations are calling these new technologies as a solution to climate change. So they are calling this as state-of-the-art, waste to energy, emission to energy, and so on. But my friends, these are all deceptions. For example, the efficiency of capturing landfill gas is highly debatable, with some reports as low as 20%. This is because that landfills are not ordinary factories that you have single emissions or smokestacks that you can control or measure the greenhouse. In hundreds of hectares of landfill, gases can escape anywhere across its surface area, into the bottoms, into the sides, making exact measurement of methane collected gas impossible. And the problem really is being highlighted through the rampant exportation of hazardous waste in the guise of recycling, especially from developed countries to developing countries. For decades, Asian and African countries have become dumps for electronic and hazardous waste of many industrialized countries. For example, 80% of all computers collected in the recycling centers in the United States are being shipped in China for recycling. And my friends, this is the picture of recycling process in China. The printed circuit boards are being melted in acid and cooked. Monitors are being manually smashed to collect valuable materials. Electronic wires are burned to collect the copper. So my fellow Greens, I urge that we need to consider how to break this linear destructive method of recycling, of extraction, wasteful consumption, and disposal. For every materials burned or landfill, a new raw material must be extracted. A new process of digging, mining, chopping down, processing, and shipping of new raw materials consume huge amount of energy and contributes greatly to global warming. Worse, it is always the marginalized community who are greatly affected by these dirty technologies. So what should be done? So what must be done? We need to advance sustainable solutions based on the concepts of zero waste, clean production, renewable energy, and local technologies. The heart of a successful ecological solid waste management lies not in expensive technologies such as landfills and incinerators, but through reduction of waste, segregation at the source, recycling, composting, and removing the toxics in the production system. Decentralizing the waste management system to the smallest political unit will make it manageable and low cost. It will be more effective and efficient to handle and manage small volumes of garbage. This is one of the key steps that have been taken by most cities around the world who gears towards zero waste. Any municipality can jump to over 50% diversion as soon as separate door-to-door collection of food waste and dry recyclable is implemented. Also, policies that will encourage every household, school, industry, and establishment should be created and implemented, while companies, especially the producers, should be compelled to put up take-back systems for the waste that their products have created. And also, there's also a growing move right now in many cities around the world to regulate and phase out some of the materials like the single-use products like plastic bags and styrofoams. So, my friends, the best solution to a problem is finding ways to stop the problem from happening. Until now, more and more new coal-fired power plants, incinerators, and landfills are being built in Asia. And most of these are being funded by financing institutions like the Asian Development Bank. Until now, the United States and Japan and many other countries are legalizing the importation of hazardous waste to developing countries through bilateral agreements. So hazardous waste and nuclear waste are being listed as tradable commodities in most of these bilateral agreements being produced by Japan and the United States. So as a final remark, a sustainable city must embrace the concept of zero waste and clean production. This is the only way to go, and the time is now. Thank you.